Guys, you are now watching a clip from the Fellas podcast. You can listen to the full podcast exclusively on Spotify for free. So make sure to head over there, leave us a 5-star rating if you enjoyed, and follow the podcast.
Your favorite videos to make?
My favorite,
Like ones that you're excited to
are usually actually, the traveling ones. I just enjoy going to a new place and experiencing new stuff. So I really enjoy going to
Especially with
Tokyo.
the boys.
How was Tokyo?
That was good, but it wasn't really a trip to enjoy Tokyo. We did like 48 hours, like in.
It really is
out.
just like pure business.
Yeah, it was literally get there, film for the day, like one evening, film for the next day, fly home, just based on the way the calendars work.
Would you go back?
Yeah, I definitely would. Yeah.
Well, I mean, just as a holiday.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I want to. Yeah, I want to go skiing.
I just got back there. Oh yeah, I really want to do skiing. You could probably tie in like a cool trip, like do 1 week of skiing.
Tokyo,
and then,
week in Tokyo, week in.
Yeah.
But I was fuming because we went and I wanted to go out. And like you said, the nightlife in Tokyo goes off. And I know it does because I went like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
No, not 2. No, like 5 years ago. So I went.
Pre-COVID.
Yeah, pre-COVID. And I met up with a friend out there and I was like, I want to go out. So for some reason, I think we'd recently done a trip with Afrojack.
Yeah.
And I got to know him a bit. And I just messaged him. I was like, I'm going out tonight. Where should I go? He's like, oh, I know this club. Text this person. They'll sort it out, whatever. So I think it was like a club called like Neo V2. Oh, was it? No, it wasn't. What was it called? I'm going to check what it was called.
Is it a big club out there?
Yeah.
What, in Tokyo?
Yeah, let me find.
Yeah, I found a club and it was like pretty new and it was wild. In like their nightlife is so different. It's like, you know how here you get like them ratty people.
Yeah, it's not like that.
It's not like everyone is so respectful. I guarantee there's no scraps when you go on a night out in Tokyo.
Oh, actually,
there's no Larry Duns geared out there not want to scrap you.
To South Korea, I bumped into a guy like by accident on the street. He started kicking off until he heard that I was English, and then he was like, "Oh no, sorry."
Really?
Yeah, it was well weird. He was like, "No, I didn't realize you was tourist. Sorry for bumping into you."
So they're more respectful to tourists.
Completely. Like I don't know. I think he realized.
Well, I mean, surely he looked to you and went,
He was massive.
"You don't look Korean."
And now because it was more of like a bump, I hear someone shouting at me. I turn around. I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, man." It's like, my bad. Don't even worry about it.
Maybe he was just checking. He was checking the vibes. He was like, if you wanted to fight, you would have had a fight.
maybe it was
Just it. Like, if you wanted to fight, you would have had one. It's like, maybe he wouldn't fight a nice person, but if someone wants to fight, he'll have a fight.
Oh, maybe, maybe.
What was the name of the thing? Do you remember?
Yeah, so it's called V2, and there was, I think, like 3 or 4 of us, and we turn up to this place, and like the host came down, met us, like, come in, it's all sorted, whatever. Walk in, it's like this massive table full of drinks. They put up a sign that says, "Welcome to V2, Mr. Vikkstar."
Bro got the VVVIP.
And I'm like, what's going on? And this is 5 years ago when even like in Europe, no one would even like let us into the club if we were paying, let alone like. So it was like, and I kept waiting for them to bring out the card machine. I was like,
oh, well, you didn't even have to pay for nothing.
And genuinely just like chilled out, like had a good time, probably drank like a 1/10 of the alcohol on the table. Like was there all night, good vibes, everyone's partying, having a good time. And then at the end, I was like, do I need to pay anything? They're like, no, thank you for coming. It's been a pleasure. And then that was it.
That was it?
Yeah.
And you just got completely, either Afrojack put in an absolute worldie in for you there.
But I also think maybe it's just like, I think it's like a mutual respect. So I guess because they knew Afrojack, maybe I think he's probably
because
played there.
You were a friend of his.
Yeah, it's just you all sorted out. And I was like,
that's legit.
Hey, yo.
Dream, man.
But yeah, nightlife, very, very fun. I went out, like 2 or 3 nights when I went back in, I think it was like 2018. And I went back this time and I was desperate just to go out. And I was like, we're not here for long. So let's just, who needs to sleep?
Who were you out there with?
It's with Simon, Toby and the crew. And I was just trying to get anyone to come out on a night out with me. No one was on it.
You needed Zerka there. You know, Zerka loves a night out when he's out.
Zerka, Harry, I got Toby out to a bar for drinks, but to be fair, it wasn't quite the right.
I went to a karaoke bar out there. Yeah. Right, because karaoke is massive, and probably in Korea as well. I'm pretty sure karaoke is mega. So we rocked up to this place, and Went in there and it only seated 7 people, but everybody is absolutely sloshed. And there was about like 2 Americans, me and the 2 people that I went with, English, and then 3 Japanese locals there. And they were young, they're about our age.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I think I'm in a pretty good spot, because if the locals are here, then it'll be decent.
Yeah,
Anyways,
okay.
the karaoke is going crazy. Everyone's having a sick time in this tiny little bar. Anyways, it shuts, and I'm chatting to this Japanese guy, and he said like, come on, let me take you on a night out. And I was like, okay. G Film went home, he had some editing to do, so it was me and my producer went out there, and I was just chatting to this guy, and I was there like, oh yeah, do you know about any, like, because from one of my videos I really wanted to go to like those Need for Speed Underground car meetups, like that type of thing. Yeah. And I was there like, bro, you got anywhere, do you know where I can just know the details of one of these things? I just want to go to one. And he was there like, I actually, and he didn't really answer my question. He went, I actually used to race in those car races underground. And he said, but I've stopped now. I left that life. And I was there like, whoa, he's making it sound like a bit fucking dramatic. I'm there like, what is it? Is it a bad life? And he pulls up his top, and there's a scar from the bottom of his sternum, like zigzagging all the way down to his belly button, right? And I was there like, whoa, what the fuck is that? Like, how did you get that? And he just said, oh, I lost a very important car race, and this is what like the mafia do to you. Like, so he was racing, I imagine.
Was he racing for the mafia?
For one of the, yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a few different people, but yeah. And he said, this is one of the punishments that you get. So he's like,
how to make someone drive fast.
Bro.
They should bring that to F1. See what happens.
Oh my God, imagine. But man, I was there like, all right, cool. You know what? Maybe I'm not going to go and try and find these car meetups.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure there's definitely like tourist versions that you could probably go and find, and there's like cool cars and shit. But yeah, this guy made it sound way more dark. And I was there like, no way that's true. He's like, yeah, I left that life. I'm doing better for myself now. Da 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 da. I was there like, bro, fair fucking play. Like,
Holy schmoes. You're getting cut open over it.
Bro, legit. And the way I knew it wasn't like he'd just come up with a cool story for a surgery is because the scar looked rough.
Yeah.
It didn't look, that was not a professional job. So yeah, man, that was my little story from Tokyo. I had that. And then also the whole time, everyone is so respectful to everyone. The place is spotless. It's clean. I've only got good things to say. But on our final night, we're in the back of this cab, and this like drunk guy, he's walking across the thing, and the taxi's like trying to like, come on mate, get across the walk. And he keeps going. And then the guy like switches, goes like that, slams the front of the taxi driver's car. And then I was there like, oh, in the UK, you would just keep driving on. Like, you wouldn't really, you'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? And then just keep driving on. This guy just says, pulls down the window, and he says, wait 1 minute like this, pulls over the car. The guy that slams it, he's like almost in tears at this point, and we're there like, what's going on? Like, this is so weird. The police came over within 30 seconds of the incident happening.
How did they know?
So one of the guys went and grabbed them.
Yeah.
Like the fact that, you know, in the UK, and they explained to him, and then the guy was like, oh, if he gets done for this, then he won't have a job, he won't have anything. Like, it made it seem like the punishments were so severe for the smallest things over there, that's why everything is usually so respectful. And the guy, he was a relatively young guy, probably like 23, 24, and his eyes were just red, like crying, and like he regretted hitting that car so quickly. That must be a rare thing to see.
Did it actually, did he get in trouble then?
No, so but even more like amazingly, obviously the police came in 30 seconds. In about 1 minute, another taxi came in, and he was like, yeah, can you just jump in with my friend? He'll take you where you need to go. So we didn't actually get to see the outcome of the thing, but like in the UK, imagine someone slaps your bonnet, you probably just give them the middle finger and you keep going. Yeah. Whereas there it was like, nah, this is a big deal.
Holy shit, yeah. Well, I guess that's why they keep the country in check.
Yeah, and that's why everything's so clean. They also don't have any bins anywhere, right? If you have a bit of rubbish in your hand, it's expected that you take it home and you get rid of it.
That's wrong.
I was there like, bro, I'm holding on to a Starbucks cup for fucking hours and hours.
I would have just eaten it.
Did you see the drunk businessmen sleeping on the streets and stuff?
Yeah, there's quite a lot of that.
I see that.
Why? What is that?
Because they just claim to, like, well, they don't claim, they obviously are like overworked, underpaid.
What I heard is that they go out drinking with their boss, and if their boss gets them a drink, it's disrespectful not to drink it. So the bosses just get their staff just obliterated and keep them out drinking until after the last trains go home. and then they have to wait for the next train home the next morning. It's probably maybe like that happens sometimes, and more often than not, it's just they go out drinking and they miss the last train home. But it's just a common thing. They just go and like sleep in train stations and wait to get like.
Oh wow,
Or
that's
they
a way
just go
better
back
story.
to work, or they just go back to work the next morning. Like,
Yeah.